Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Connect Civilians. So in this lecture we are going to design a staircase which is supported perpendicular to the direction of the flight or steps. Okay, so this will be the type 3, type 1 and type 2 we have already done in our previous lectures. If you haven't watched that video, I will provide the link in the description. Okay, so here the support is provided in direction perpendicular to the steps. So these are the steps, okay, these are the steps, and this is the landing. Okay, this is the landing, this will be landing 1 and this will be your landing 2nd. Okay, and support or wall will be provided here. So these are the wall or beam, whatever is provided by the structure engineer. Okay, so here if you see the elevation, you will find that this will be the slab. So this will be the your landing 1 and this will be your landing 2nd, and these are the steps, and this is the base slab. Okay, this will be your landing 1 and this will be your landing 2, and there is a beam or wall. So support may be any of the type, either it is beam or wall. Okay, so it is provided in this direction. So what if you see the plan, this is the wall. Okay, so it will run all over the flight like this. Okay, similarly here on that, on the other side also. So now we are going to design this type of here staircase where support is provided in this direction, and we are going to assume some of the data that was taken initially, that is floor to floor height. What is floor to floor height? This will be your ground floor, this will be your first floor. Okay, so this height will be your floor to floor height, and it is taken as 3 meter for the design consideration right now. Okay, now so this drop down I am showing you, this is the wall or beam. Okay, this is not the slab, this is the wall or beam, this. Okay, this wall or beam. Okay, it is showing here, and the riser we are going to assume as 150. What is riser? This height of step is riser, so we are taking a 150. And what is tread? Where we have to land our foots. So this is the tread. Okay, and we are going to assume the tread as 270. And width of landing, so this is the width of landing. So 1 minute, this will be the width of landing. So we are going to take 1.5 here, and similarly here. So in general consideration, both the landing will be taken at same sizes, but somewhere in, if you go and design, though, you may see that this landing and this landing width will be different. So you can design from that type also, but for general consideration I am going to take the both the widths similar. Okay, so this will be 1.5, this width is also 1.5. Similarly here we are going to consider the width of the flight, this will be the width of the flight. Okay, this will be the width of the flight, so it is taken as 1.5 also. Okay, similarly here the width of the flight is taken as, width of the flight is width of the steps. Okay, so it is taken as 1.5, and the gap between the two flight is taken as 150. Okay, this gap. Okay, So this gap between flights will be taken as 150. Okay, so now all the design initial value we have taken. Now we are going for the calculation for the design of base slab first, and after that we will calculate for the design of landing. Okay, so for the design of base slab, this will be your base slab. Okay, this, if you see the plan, from here to here, this will be your base slab. Okay, so this was shown in your elevation. Okay, now we are going to design the elevation. So in this case, what will happen, you have to take the effective span as per IS code 456. Okay, so if you see the IS code 456 page number 63, you will find that in consideration where support is provided perpendicular to the steps, so we have to take the effective span by these values. So this will be your x and this will be your y. This will be a landing one. So both total length will be capital X and small length will be x, that is capital X by 2. So it will divide into two parts, two equal parts, on landing 1 also and landing 2 also. Okay. Now these are some of the values that you have to consider for the effective span. So if your x, this value will be less than 1, and if your y value is also less than 1, so you have to calculate the effective span by adding total going, that is total flight, plus x plus y. Okay, when it is both the lengths are less than 1. Okay, and if x is less than 1 and y is greater than 1, so what you have to do, you have to go with going plus x plus 1. Okay, similarly if x is greater than 1 and y is less than 1, so you have to take going plus y plus 1 plus y. Okay, and if both are greater than 1, okay, so you have to take going plus 1 plus 1. Okay, so this is the consideration you have to take for the effective span calculation. So you will take the IS code reference. Okay, IS code 456 on page number 63 for the calculation of effective span in this condition, where support was provided perpendicular to the flight or steps. Okay, now we go for the calculation of effective span. So this will be your formula, L is equal to effective length is equal to x plus g plus y. Okay, so x will be x by 2, g will be total going length, and y will be this length, landing to half length. Okay, so here total length is 1.5, so its half will be 0.75. Okay, so x is equal to y, because both the width was similar, that's why I am taking x is equal to y. Okay, 1.5. if it is not, so you have to take 1 by 1. Okay, and it is 1.5 divided by 2, so its small x will come as 0.75 and small y will come as 0.75. now for the so here for the calculation of effective length, it is less than 1, so we have to take the x value that we have calculated. Okay, so it is 0.75 plus 2.43 is the total length of going. So if you have the plan from the uh, design or architect, so you can get this length, and if it is not, so you can calculate by the total floor to floor height also. Okay, so it is 0.75 plus 2.43 plus 0.75 is the half of the length of for landing 2, that is small y. Okay, so its effective length will come as 3.93 meter. Okay, so effective length is calculated 3.93. Now we can go for the initial consideration of depth for the design. Okay, so we know that L by D for simply supporter was 20, so we are going to take the ratio for that, and then our depth will be taken as effective length by 20, and it is will be calculated as 197 mm. Now if you assume the total depth, so you can take the small d also, because it is effective length and effective depth, but for the slab condition where load is varying, so you can go with the capital D also, so that your slab will be designed in less thickness. Okay, so if you go with the effective depth value from here, so you have to add the cover and the bar size, main bar size, that is half of that, to find the capital depth, but it was not required in this situation in the case of stair. So you can take this value as a capital D, that is total depth. If it is fail after designing, then we can increase the size. Okay, but for initial consideration you can take the capital D, not the small d, that is not the effective depth, only the total depth of the slab. So our D will come as 197, so we are going to assume the total depth of the base slab as 200 mm. Okay, so effective depth is equal to total depth minus clear cover, that is clear cover for the base slab, minus die of the bar by 2. Okay, so total depth is taken as 200, minus 20 will be the clear cover, and 12 by 2 is the half of the diameter of the bar that we are going to take. So we are considering the 12 mm die of the bar here for the main reinforcement of the base slab. Now it is calculated as 174 mm, so effective depth will be taken as 174 mm. Now for landing slab, we can measure the same thickness as base slab, or if you don't want to go with the same thickness, so you can go with the initial effective span formula, effective span by 20, so it will come as 2.149 by 20. Okay, so this effective span, I will show you, is not as same as for base slab. Okay, so this effective span will be calculated for landing only, because we are going to calculate for the landing only. Okay, so for landing, what you have to do, if you go and see the landing only, okay, so section will be look differently. I will show you the landing. Okay, if you see the landing one, okay, so this will be the section, and these are the walls that was going side by side of the landing. So this is the landing slab. Okay, so effective span is calculated as total length of the slab plus half of these both, or total length of the slab plus effective depth. So whichever is lesser that is coming, so you can go with either of the values. Okay, so here effective length will be calculated as 2.149. okay, so it will come as 107, so we will going to take the total depth as 175. You can take also 150 if you want. So you can do both, either go with the same thickness that you are providing the base slab, or you can just calculate the effective span for the landing and take the initial thickness by these values. Okay, so now we are going to design the base slab first. So for ongoing loads, okay, so first we have to calculate self weight of the slab, that is this base slab. So 25 into d into inclined length divided by t. Okay, t is the tread. Okay, 25 is the unit weight of the concrete, T is the total depth. So 25 into 0.2 is the total thickness of the waste slab, multiply by, so here what is this? This is the Pythagoras for the calculation of this. Okay, that is hypotenuse is equal to perpendicular plus base. So this we are using the Pythagoras here for the calculation of this. Okay, this length. So it will come as square root of 0.270 square, 0.270 square, that is tread, and 0.150 square, that is riser, divided by 0.270. Okay, per tread value. So now it will come as 25 into 0.2 into 0.309 by 0.270. So our self weight of the waste slab will come as 5.72 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. So if you consider the per meter for per meter of it, so you can also write as kilonewton per meter. Okay. Now we can go for the calculation of self weight of steps. Okay. So for unit weight we are going to consider here the brick. So unit weight we are going to take as 20 multiply by r by 2. Okay. So this will be your riser. Okay. So we have to take the average value. That's why we are taking r by 2. So it is 20. So if you are going to make the step of RCC, so you have to change the 20 by 25 unit weight of concrete. Okay. So here will be 20 multiplied with 0.15 into 2 divided by 2. So it will come as 1.5 kilonewton per meter square. And floor finish we are going to consider by IS code 456. Sorry, by IS code 875 part 1. Okay. So you can go and check part 1 and 2 for the consideration of floor finish load and live load. Okay. IS code 875 part 1 and 2. Okay, for live load and dead load. Okay, so total load will come as 11.22 kilonewton per meter square, and ultimate load or factor load will be come as, so to multiply the value by 1.5, so it will come as 16.83 kilonewton per meter square. Now for 1 meter width of consideration we have to take the value as 1 meter, and here it is 16.83 kilonewton per meter. Okay, so what will be the width was given, you can also go with that, either it is 1.5 or 1. For here right now we are going to consider for only 1 meter, so you can multiply it again in the design of reinforcement. Okay, so loads on landing slab will be calculated as self weight of the slab. So similar self weight will be calculated, unit weight of concrete multiplied by thickness of the slab. So it is 0.175. Now it is taken as 4.38. So this is the for landing slab. Floor finish value will be 1 kilonewton per meter square and live load will be 3 kilonewton per meter square. So floor finish value will depend on the material that you are providing, that is tiles or granular tiles, whatever material you are providing. So it will be calculated by the density of that material. Okay, total load will be taken as calculated as 8.38 kilonewton per meter square, and the factor load will be 12.56 kilonewton per meter square. So here what will happen, your 50% of your landing loads were added to the waste slab. That's why we are calculating the landing load also. Okay, because it is divided by, because support was provided as perpendicular, so it is divided into two parts. That's why it is taken as a one unit for the waste slab. So half of the load was transferred to the base slab. So here it is 12.53 the total load. So if you divide by 2, so it will come as 6.28 kilonewton per meter square. So 50% of landed load are added to base slab. Okay. So now for calculation of bending moment and shear force, and this is for landing slab, sorry, for the base slab. Okay, I'll mention here base slab. Okay, so this is how the load will be transferred and shown that it is UDL distributed all over the base slab and also up to the landing slab also. That is 50% of load that was calculated by the landing. So it is 6.28 and this is the base slab, that is 2.43 length, and its total load is calculated as 16.83. Now we have to calculate the reaction first. So reaction will be your total load divided by 2 because it is a symmetric loading. Loading was equal. Okay, so total load will be calculated as 6.28 multiplied by total length 0.75 plus 16.83 multiplied by total length 2.43 plus 6.28 multiplied by 0.75. So it is WL. So total length will be, total load will be 50.32 kilonewton. Now we are go for the calculation of reaction of shear force value. So it will come as total load divided by 2. It will come as 25.16. Okay. So your reaction will be this VA and VB. So this value will be here 25.16, 25.16. Okay, these are the reactions. Now calculation of bending moment, how it is calculated. So total reaction, that is 25.16 multiplied by 0.75 plus half of this, because we are going to consider from the center. Okay, so plus 1.215, half of 2.43 up to here, minus in bracket 6.28 multiplied by 0.75 multiplied by 0.75 divided by 2 plus 1.215. Okay, from this center of this to up to here, minus 16.83 multiplied by this length 1.215 multiplied by half of this length 1.215 by 2. So total moment will be calculated as 29.52. So we can go for the check for depth for the base slab. So this moment is calculated for the base slab design. Okay, now we will go for check for depth. So we have taken the Fy as, that is steel, tensile strength of steel as 415 Newton per mm square, and the compressive strength of concrete as 20 Newton per mm square. Now for Fe 415, your mu limit will be taken as 0.138 into FCK into P into D square. So it is also calculated if you check the IS code SP34, and if you go with the IS code 456 also, you can find that there also. And if you find the SP34, there also it is mentioned how it is value will be taken. Okay, so for SP for Fe415, its constant will be 0.138 into FCK into B into D square. Now small d, that is effective depth of the base slab, will be taken as 29.5 to 10 to the power 6. This will be your moment. Okay, divided by 0.138 into fck 20 into b is the width. Okay, and d will become here. Now its value will become as 103.43 mm. So this is less than our effective depth that we have provided, that is 174. So this will be safe for the design. So it is 103. So if you want to check for 150 also, so you can go for that value also. Okay, for the calculation reinforcement of the west slab, this is not the west slab, this is west slab. Okay, WAIST. Now for the calculation reinforcement, this will be a formula. AST is equal to 0.5 FCK by Fy in bracket 1 minus square root of 1 minus 4.6 into moment divided FCK BD square into B into D. Okay, this will be your effective depth and this will be your 1 meter width of width. Okay, so we are going to consider for per meter. After that we can calculate for the given width. Okay, so it is taken as 0.5 into 20 divided by 415 in bracket 1 minus square root of 1 minus 4.6 into moment, that is 29.52 into 10 power 6 for the conversion in Newton. Okay, divided by 20 into 1000 for per meter of width into 174 square effective depth of the base slab multiplied with 1000 into 174. So AST will be calculated as 500 mm square. So you can also check for AST minimum. The formula for the HYSD bar we use as 0.12% of the cross section of the slab. So it is, if you are using the mild steel, then you can go for 0.15%. If you are using the HYSD bar, so we can have to take the 0.12%. Okay, so it will come as 0.12 divided 100 into 1000 into 200 total depth of the slab. So it will come as 240 mm square. So this value is greater than this, so you can go with this value, greater value. Okay, if it is less than this, so you have to go with the minimum value only. You can decrease by this value. So for 1.5 meter of width of light, so our width flight will is 1.5. So for 1.5 you have to multiply this value by 1.5 only. So total steel will come as 750 mm square. Okay, so dia of bar we have considered for the main reinforcement is 12 mm. So number of bar will be calculated as 750 divided by area of the dia of 12 mm of bar. Okay, so it will come as 6.63. So 7 mm of bar we are going to provide as main reinforcement in slab. Okay, so AST for provided will be calculated as 7 multiplied by area of the 12 mm of bar, that is pi d square by 4. So it will come as 790 mm square. So it is greater than our area calculator and it is safe here. Okay, so we can also go for the check for spacing here. So for main bar, what was the criteria? So for main bar you can't take lesser than these values. Sorry, we can go with the, we have to check with the 3D or 300 mm. So whichever is lesser is coming, you have to go with that. You don't have allowed to provide more spacing than these values. Okay, so maximum spacing will be 300 mm only. Always remember that. Never provide the spacing more than 300 mm or 3D. So lesser value you have to take. Okay, and so spacing provided will be calculated as 1500 divided by 6. Okay, why 6? We have provided 7, so spacing will become as 6 only. Okay, so it will come as, it is for 1.5 meter of width of slide. Okay, so our spacing will calculate as 250. So you have to provide the spacing by 250 only. Okay, 3D will be calculated 3 into 170. So its values come as 522 or 300 mm. So lesser of these will be 250, so you have to go with this. Okay, so percent of ST provided will calculate as ST upon B into D into 100. So ST is equal to 791 upon B will be 1.5 into 174 into 100. So our percentage that we have provided is 0.303%. And for distribution still we have to go with the ST minimum, that is 240 mm. So we are going to provide mm die of bar at 200 mm spacing of center to center. So it's so spacing, if you want to calculate for distribution by, you can go with it 50.3. so this will be your 8 mm die of bar of area. Okay, for 8 mm dia 50.3 divided by 240 total area into 1000. Okay, so for 1 meter of width it is taken as spacing is come as 209. So that will also be okay if you provide with 200 spacing. Okay, and this spacing will should be less than 5D or 450 mm. So out of these three values you have to take the lesser value. Okay, you don't have allowed to provide more spacing than these. Okay, so in this lecture we are going to see how to design the landing also. Okay, so if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.